Okay, so I am going to read. Let's all go. I'm going to mute you all. All right, I'm going to start reading The Perfect Purple Feather. So you might want to have your feather out for this. And then our meeting will end at around 11:40. And I hope to see many of you again next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, you'll get a new bag, but the plan and the way we use our time will be very similar, okay? Okay. I had this idea of how I could do this. The Perfect Purple Feather. Thumbs up if you're hearing me clearly. Okay. Thumbs up if you're seeing the book pretty clearly. Great. It's by Hanish Piven, who all of the pictures are made with what we call beautiful stuff, loose parts, things you would find. Just looking recycled material, creative material. This illustrator uses all the kinds of stuff you would find in a beautiful stuffed treasure box or treasure bag. Jacob tossed and turned in the middle of the night. Something seemed different, not quite right. He felt a prickle at the back of his head. Something was poking from the pillow on his bed. He pulled it and pushed it and pulled it some more. What he had in his hand, he couldn't ignore. A perfect purple feather. How cool, said Jacob. So silky and sleek. I like how this feather tickles my cheek. He sat wide awake in his dark little room and saw out his window a bright yellow moon. Hey, Jacob, chirped a bluebird in a nearby tree. I'm missing a wing. Just look at me. Please give me that feather you hold in your hand so I can fly in a flash to a far away land. Scat! Fly away, meowed a black catty cat. That feather's for me, anyone can see that. It brightens my whiskers. I'll look quite unique with that purple feather. I'll be very chic. So he added that purple feather over here to be like a whisker. A porcupine said gloomily, it's a sad, sad life. No one will hug me. I'm as sharp as a knife. But with that feather, I'd be soft and so sweet. I can charm anyone I happened to meet. Declared the centipede. It's just not fair. I have lots of legs, but not one little hair. If I had that feather, I'd pimp and I'd preen. Why, I think I'd feel just like a queen. And Anne crawled to the centipede's side. Hey, come with me. We'll go for a ride. That feather will help us sail far away. Come climb aboard. It's a beautiful day. A loud owl scolded. I'm old and unwise. That feather's for me. It's no surprise. I'm a great writer, and here's what I think. That feather will make a fine pen for my ink. That's another use. The doggie next door feared being left out, so she yapped at the owl and said with a pout, Give me the feather which waves like a flag. I'll make it my tail and give it a wag. So it could be a animal's tail, which I think some of you did.
Like me.
That was you. Suddenly, the bedroom shook with a roar as a black and gold tiger pranced through the door. That feather will make a fine toothpick to munch after I've eaten that doggy for lunch. Yikes. Luckily, brave Jacob did not lose his head, and he chased off that tiger with the pillow from his bed. Just then, a mischievous tick butted in. He picked up the feather and said with a grin, "What a great feather! It's as soft as a rose. I'll use it to tickle that elephant's nose." What do you think will happen if an elephant's nose gets tickled with a feather? The elephant giggled and rolled on the floor over and over. She rolled toward the door. Then she raised her trunk high and achoo! She sneezed the most magnificent sneeze. It was so amazingly loud, it shook the tick's knees. Out flew the feather, and it wafted up high. Jacob thought, oh, I almost skipped a page, sorry. It twirled and it swirled through the dark blue night sky. Jacob thought about the feather. Then he pondered some more. Soon his eyes gently closed and he started to snore. And the perfect purple feather, where did it fly? Past the yellow moon, higher up in the sky. Perhaps it'll end up somewhere nameless and new. Or maybe it will land right here with you. So now you all have a purple feather, and I hope that book inspired you to think of other uses for your purple feather, ways you can add your purple feather to the beautiful stuff you already made. Perhaps you can make animal tails, create a wild story like the story that Jacob did with his purple feather. I think just one purple feather, and this author wrote a whole book inspired by one purple feather. So you have one purple feather and a bag full of treasures. I cannot wait to see what further things you do. Okay? Before